Well, while many people think of Phillips 66 as just an iconic gasoline brand, researchers at the company have much of their focus on the fuels of the future. Joining me now is our Lisa Hines.
That's right, Rob. Phillips 66 is on the cutting edge when it comes to products made from oil and natural gas, like plastics you find in your cars, even electronics. But they're also looking at creating different forms of energy.
For the foreseeable future, oil and gas will power the world. Yet researchers at Phillips 66 are preparing for a time when it doesn't.
We've been looking at all forms of energy, whether it's solar energy. We have a research group looking at organics, photovoltaics. We have another research group that's looking at fuel cells, because there is so much natural gas right now that if we can convert fuel cells to being able to use natural gas as opposed to hydrogen, we open up a whole new market. The distribution system's already there.
Like a solid oxide fuel cell, which engineer David Bearshank says can convert hydrocarbon fuels to electricity.
So if you supply the fuel to one side of the cell, or the membrane, and air to the other side, it will generate electricity for you. There are a number of reasons why we're interested in the technology. One of them is grid reliability. So if you look at power disruptions in the United States, they're growing more frequent over time. And a lot of this is because their transmission and distribution infrastructure is aging. And so this technology could be used to build a modular power plant that you could drop in close to the user and generate electricity close to the point of consumption. So you eliminate the grid, and it can be significantly more reliable.
A small technology with big implications.
The cell is about 0.5 millimeter thick. What we're focusing on is developing a cell technology. The cell is the core technology, if you will, to an eventual system. And then the cells that we've made, these cells, this is one of these cells right here. This generates the electricity, and then each one of these operates at about 1 volt. And so these get connected in series to build up the voltage for an eventual power plant. And where we are right now in our research program is we're at the cell level, and we're getting ready to begin to make our first stacks, where we connect the cells in series to boost the power output from the device. It's a very scalable technology, and it's also a very compact technology. When you compare it to solar, solar requires a very large surface area to generate the electricity. These cells can be packed into a very tight package to generate electricity on a very small scale. So all this makes it very attractive as a future power generation source.
A promising technology moving the world forward to more sustainable energy sources.
We think that there's a place for everything, whether it's solar, nuclear, biofuels. Everybody's got a place. We can't just look at one fuel for the good of the nation.
Solutions to everyday problems being solved right here in Oklahoma at Phillips 66.
Now, when we spoke with Merle Lindstrom, he did tell us that while Phillips 66 has many successes, their failures are just as important. Because as he puts it, isn't it just as important for people to know what doesn't work as to what does work? Because if it doesn't work, you don't want somebody to try again in 10 years and find out it still doesn't work.
All right, thanks so much, Elise.
You're welcome, Rob.
Now, we will be bringing you more about Phillips 66 in the coming weeks, and we do have an interesting story from Merle Lindstrom about how geopolitics can affect their bottom line. To see that, just head to OKRising.com and look under this week's value-added section.
Small group.